Yo, what is up, everybody? Chris here from Fake Sports News, back at it again with another video. Today I'm going to be bringing you guys an update on what happened yesterday during day one of CDL Champs. Of course, looking at our first series, we had the London Royal Ravens taking on the Chicago Huntsmen. And personally, as you guys know, I said this would be a 3-1 for the Huntsmen, but on the on the negative side, I guess, I did get some of the maps wrong. Of course, the Huntsmen did look great in their performance. They 3-1 London, and they spanked them in the game for hardpoint. So they looked pretty good going into their matchup against the loser of Dallas versus FaZe. And of course, in the Dallas versus FaZe matchup, Dallas, of course, came out on top. They looked to be the better team in the matchup yesterday, and honestly, I think that'll carry through to today. I think that Dallas is just the better team at the current moment, and they do know how to play FaZe well. I think at this point in the game, the matchup does go in Dallas's favor just because of how much Shotzi and Illy have improved. Now, looking ahead to the matchup today between Dallas and FaZe in the grand finals, I'm expecting the Dallas Empire to walk away with this one. I just don't see Crim and Clay losing in the finals, and especially not when they looked as strong as they did yesterday. You could see the smiles on their face. They were well game planned going into that matchup versus FaZe, and you could really tell. Of course, FaZe, they did look good in the matchup. I wouldn't necessarily say that they're going to get swept in the grand finals, but with Dallas going in with a 1-0 map advantage, I do definitely favor them to win, and that's where I would say if you're going to bet, you should put your money. I would say go with Dallas. I think that they're the team to beat. I think that they will definitely win this finals, and I think that they'll be the CDL World Champs at the end of this. So yeah, guys, be sure to stay tuned to the channel. Of course, we will be bringing you guys a update on what happens tonight in the grand finals. Of course, we are hoping that Dallas can pull it off just because, the vets, Crim and Clay, of course, Crim being the most successful Call of Duty player of all time. If he wins a third ring, it'll definitely cement him as the GOAT. Of course, Karma, probably the most skilled, quote-unquote, in the GOAT conversation. But Crim 6, of course, in terms of accomplishments, there would be nobody who could surpass him at this point. Of course, Karma always held the 3 rings title over him, but if Crim gets a third ring, then he's Mr. 3 rings as well, and he has 30-plus chips at that point. So I think it's pretty hard to argue that Crim 6 is the GOAT when the man has 30-plus chips and as many rings as the guy who previously held the most with 3. And in the case of Shotzi and Illy, it definitely cements Shotzi as the MVP of the regular season, because if you win the MVP of the regular season and you win the chip, then, what can be said? You're clearly the best player in terms of impacting a team and making them a winning team. Personally, I'm expecting the Empire to continue to dominate the hard points against FaZe. I think FaZe's hard point looks pretty shaky at the moment, and I don't think that they'll be able to fix enough of their issues within one day to necessarily turn things around. Of course, FaZe is very, very strong in S&D and in Domination as well. Domination was definitely one of their strongest game modes all year long. Same can be said for S&D. So I think FaZe will win the S&Ds, and Empire will most likely win the hard points. But we'll see how things turn out, obviously, in the grand finals later on today. As we know in Call of Duty, as I always say, anything can happen. Yeah, guys, so that'll just about wrap it up for me. Of course, yesterday, I'm pretty proud of the Chicago Huntsmen, how far they got, so I wasn't even really that sad when they got third place. They went up against an Atlanta FaZe team who have been clear and away the best team in the game all year long, apart from really the tail end of the year where they had their struggles and they looked pretty beatable. But, FaZe has been the clear-cut number 1 seed since the beginning of the season. I think they've only lost the number 1 seed briefly for maybe a couple of days in the beginning of the season, but yeah, they've been the clear-cut favorite all year long, so them beating the Huntsmen was not very surprising to me, and honestly, I'm not really that upset. They played very well all weekend long. They had so many clutches, so many game 5s, and I'm just proud of how well the team played, so can't really be too mad at that. They got a third place finish, of course, as they should have. Everyone expected them to be a top 3 team. And, a lot of people counted them out going into this tournament. So, just happy that the Huntsmen could definitely really just cement themselves as one of the better teams in this game and just say, hey, You guys doubted us all year long, but when it really mattered, we showed up. So yeah, guys, that'll just about do it for me on this video. I will catch you guys on tomorrow's video with a recap of what happened today at CDL Champs Day 2. But yeah, guys, that'll just about wrap it up for us. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram, and of course, use code FSN for 10% off products at mypire.com. And we will catch you on the next video. Once again, this is Chris from Fake Sports News, signing out. Peace.